might have seen my little pyrotechnics display, Offworlder. But whether you did or not, the long and short of it is that I must go. And quickly. The Sardaukar have my scent, and the Emperor's hounds are not known for their mercy. I do not know when we will meet again. Continue to follow your path. Let the desert teach you as you walk in the footsteps of the Fremen. Find allies. It is hard to survive without friends. And remember, Arrakis will sharpen you, Offworlder. Make sure you become the right kind of blade.
No, not lost, sir. She's dead.
Oh, tragic. Truly tragic. But they say the desert calls the weak.
My God, man, she was one of yours. Cousin, even.
I am in deep mourning, sir. Rumors of disloyalty buzzed around her like blowflies, but now, who's to say? Certainly not her.
My one pleasure in this hell is knowing that you're trapped here with me.
A momentary setback, I assure you.
Even your Harkonnen masters find you insufferable, Maxim. You're down here forever.
Tell me, dear Anton, what's it like being the handkerchief your superiors use to wipe the gore off Shining Atreides' honor?
Let's settle this.
Gladly.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
By the laws of Canley.
Someone new. Are you, by chance, looking for banter or legal advice? You may call me Amadi Ikeni. I serve the interests of House Tseda on Arrakis. I, myself, am from the minor house of Ikeni. We specialize in Imperial law as it pertains to the governing of houses and the conduct of nobility. We defend the Tsedan name. There are a pair of Atreides and Harkonnen officers who daily argue with each other over the finer points of Canley law.
Do you aspire to contribute to something bigger than yourself? Care to join the right side of this war?
I am Anton Tolliver. I serve proudly as a soldier for House Atreides. However, my superiors deem me useful for more subtle operations.
One of our undercover agents went missing. I fear Maxim is on to him. Bring me him or information on what became of him. Find the agent. Details are in this contract. Duke Leto is the paragon example of all we stand for. Strength with wisdom, justice with generosity, steel with compassion. Everything Arrakis needs. Ours is a noble house, not only in blood, but in loyalty and honor. We've defended these values all the way back to ancient Greece on Old Terra. Then perhaps you are just the sort we're looking for. We endure as the antithesis of everything House Harkonnen stands for. The Harkonnens have no honor, no values, no redeeming qualities. Their recruiter over there is a vile runoff of every one of their anti-virtues. These Samuda-addicted freaks will lie to you, exploit you, and throw your used husk aside when they're done. You have my word.
Another innocent traveler, like every other scoundrel here. Got my eye on you, stranger. Don't test me. Friendly banter ain't worth the spit it costs in the Gap. Get tough or get dead. Sooner you learn that, the later you'll croak. And I was hoping to retire 10 years ago. Name's Tig. I run this LO. Any other burning questions? Used to run spies for the Arks. Got tired of them. Got tired of taking orders. Sandflies wanted me, but I can't stomach their muling politics. Who? Not what. Lazy bastards, the lot of them. Hold up in the shield wall. Want to wage without doing the work. Give the rest of us Duners a bad name. You think an old-timer like me can't tap a keg? I do just fine. Don't give a spit about accumulating Solaris. Just want my own place. To be left alone. Yet you desert fleas keep occasioning me to scratch. That's a mighty pretty way to say criminals. In here, they're meek as mice. I got the only spy spear in the Gap, so behooves them to behave. Sure, some of them get to leave. Course you do. I call it the Anvil, because of the hammer. Only joke I ever made. If it's perishable, I don't stock it. That's all there is to tell. Yet, you got more questions. It was always nice and quiet around here, back when the Fremen were at Mirzabah. Nobody dared come near. But then the Sardaukar ruined everything. The pogrom that gutted the Fremen like animals. After that, the bandits all came crawling out of their holes. Now look at this place. It's packed. Can't well leave these cutthroats to starve, can I? They're regulars. Besides, who'd be fool enough to take over this den of thieves from me? Spread slander like that and you best make peace with your tongue. Guess that's not illegal. The Vermillius Gap? I ain't no mentat, but this desert and I are on intimate terms. Oh, that's because of the iron. Used to be a big industry here for it. You can still see some of the old rigs. Long, long ago, before the spice craze. Used to be the Fremen owned this patch of sand, till the Emperor had them all killed. That's when the blasted Kirabs slinked in. Most of them, sure. They'd rather die young, knife in hand. Older I get, the more sense I see in that. All of them, though? No. They're a tenacious lot. Scavengers turned bandits. Got to figure in slitting throats was the more reliable work. They rove in small nomadic bands. Well, they're rat bastards, but they're paying customers. We have a deal. They operate in the area, but cause no trouble here. Don't want to talk about it. Best quiet that question, lest you like a sucking chest wound. There's them two staring daggers at each other yonder. Spycraft recruiters for the Atreides and Harkonnen. Passive aggression makes me nethers itch. I appreciate the sycophancy. You take me for a tour guide. See that big rock shaped like a hammer? That's Mirzabah. Great view. Start there. See what you can figure out.
Well, you look more capable than the average scum. This war of assassins has a way of making people into victims or victors. Which are you, I wonder? Pardon me, living in the heat and lingering Fremen stink erodes civility. I am Levenbrak Maxim Kazmir, intelligence officer of Great House Harkonnen. Brazen and eager, I can work with that. I'd say it's about building trust, but this is a game of intrigue, so we'll deal in usefulness instead. You see, my job is to sift through the dregs of this dunghole, separating rare talent from so much meat we throw into the grinder. My last promising asset up and vanished while on the trail of an Atreides agent. Are they dead? Are they deep into their cups? It is unimportant. The Atreides agent is the thing. Bring me all the information you can gather, and we may just allow you under the umbrella of our success. Perhaps Anton was sloppy in contacting his agent, and perhaps I spied on him. But if he's on the move, we must hurry. We must hurry. Find information regarding the Atreides agent, and you'll find our favor. We Harkonnen believe in power and hierarchy. The strong prevail and free the weak from agency, delivering them to glorious submission. Which are you? Arrogance. I like that. It is the precursor to success. Or spectacular ruin. You should fit in just fine. Regardless, you seem shrewder than my Atreides counterpart over there. Look at that poor lumpling, waiting for a pat on the head from his masters. I'd call him a typical Atreides hypocrite. But dear Anton lacks the depth for hypocrisy. He truly believes the fairy tales his house spoon-feeds him.
From Jabali Retreat, a great mob of House Helios thrice-damned slavers has descended on the entire region. They're seizing every poor wretch they can lay hands on and dragging them off to the slave pits. I only escaped because I know the foul smell of a slaver better than anyone. I survived 2 years in the Harkonnen slave pits before escaping, and I have the Inkvine scars to prove it. I'll die before I go back, and you would be wise to do the same. Flee or fight, but don't be taken alive.
seen the wreck of that Atreides lighter lying out there? Sure would like to get a close look at it. Bet there's loads of valuable stuff just piled up in there. Only thing is, everyone else has the same idea. Probably get shot down before I even got a peek inside. Tempting, though.
The entire rock is swarming with slavers. Kirab, salvagers, prospectors, anyone without a powerful patron is fair game. Beast Rabban needs more bodies to work to death on his precious new city, so if you go anywhere near the hand, be on your guard.
The ground fighting may have moved away from here, but there's still plenty going on up above. I don't mind them dropping those fighters out of the sky, long as they don't come down on my head. There's still good salvage to be got from them. Only thing is, most of them fall out in the open sands, and the worms won't give you any time to use a cutter ray out there. Still, you can get some nice stuff if you're daring enough for a dash and grab.
Desanding the engine core. Unsure how the sand even gets in. Had Higgs borrow some extra hands to help look for leaks and tears in the hull. Nothing. I'm starting to imagine the Hawks flipped someone just to have them sprinkle a fistful of dust in the gears. It's everywhere. In our bunks, in our chow. Our ships just aren't built to go up against these tiny grains of sand. You can park this ship and make Argent for a week and not a drop of water will get in. But the sand eroded into specks. Specks that sneak through every last little crevice. Specks of daily maintenance. Guess what thrilling obstacle we'll be tackling tomorrow? Did you guess sand? can get a lacquer drug just by burning a lacquer wood. But the smoke won't do much beyond making you not care if you live or die. That's why they give it to gladiators. Makes them fierce. But we'll need to put the Alaka ash through a crystal extraction process to get pure Samuta. A shot of those purified crystals triggered by some Samuta music, and you're in ecstasy.
Salan, we should leave this spot. There's something in all that old wreckage that is not healthy. I know. It's fine. You say it keeps outsiders away. But if everything is fine, why is my hair falling out in handfuls? Why are my finger and toenails falling off? Another week up here and we'll pass as Harkonnen.
I don't know you. Approach slowly and speak plainly. I'm Zephyrin Tuma of House Tuma, in service to the envoy of House Novabruns. I provide technological expertise and other, more discreet skill sets. House Tuma specializes in the industrial manufacturing of ore-hauling spaceships and control systems for mining vehicles. All of this serves House Novabruns' domination of the mining industry of the Imperium. I do my job. I do it well. That is enough. I don't have time for that other nonsense. My house has an interest in that nearby wreck. No. The house founder, Orton Novabruns, served with distinction in the Butlerian Jihad. The newly formed house wasted no time seizing mining claims. House Novabruns has dominated the mining industry in the Imperium for centuries. We live by our motto, prosperity from darkness. We are an expansionist house. If you're not expanding, you're dying. We have our wise lords and ladies to thank for keeping such singular focus. Correct. We are not only in the business of mining directly, but in selling our expertise, teaching other houses how to mine their native wealth. Our ancestors honed their mining skills on Novabruns. To be fair, the planet is now depleted, even barren, but the reaped wealth fueled our expansion. Such is the price of progress.
Contracts have all been signed and certified, Captain. And your advance has been passed on through chosen channels. This operation is costing me a fortune, so I expect quick results. My agents have located the hideout of the Kirav who hijacked our water transport. Your force is to punish the bandits and recover what water you can. Remember, any necessary correspondence is to come directly to me, not anyone else in the guild.
Don't shoot, don't shoot! I'm unarmed, and... Oh, it's you! My erstwhile apprentice. Keep your voice down, please! I'm still trying to complete my audit, but the difficulties continue to mount. The Cho mercenaries up top sneered at my Imperial seal, but they let me past. But as soon as I went inside, people started trying to dart me. So I retreated, and I've been here considering my options. Until you showed up, my well-armed friend. I'm just remembering how competent a certain somebody was back at testing station number 2. Maybe we can revisit our arrangement? Here's what I am proposing. You get inside the testing station and, just like last time, find me the mnemic films containing the reports. In return, I'll teach you some more about the practical applications of planetology and ecological systems. Deal? Once again, I am in your debt. I'll wait here then, shall I?
Welcome, visitor, to Imperial Desert Testing Station number 197. I am Station Supervisor Janice Braun of the Imperial Engineering Corps. Yes, this lab has the unique distinction of being headed by an engineer rather than a scientist. Although there are geologists and hydrologists aplenty on our team, our mission requires engineering expertise above all. The mission is simple: find Dune's water. Our scientific colleagues assure us that conditions are right for the presence of a large aquifer on this planet. Our mission will be to drill deep until we find it.
You were right. The water transport had far fewer guards than normally. It was a simple matter to overwhelm them. And the ice from the pole, Lazaro. I never thought to see such a sight. We are bringing the transport back to the station by secret paths. Have the tank prepared. The thirsty of the region will soon be coming to us with their Solaris in hand. We will all be rich as nobles.
Dr. Verde was right. There is water here. The problem isn't finding it. It's keeping it. Our very first bore turned up water aplenty. It was deep, but we initiated a strong flow. We barely finished patting each other on the back when flow trickled out. The same with our second bore, and our third, and almost a dozen others. Always the same. A strong flow that quickly dries up. None of the big brains seems to have an answer for it. Dr. McCain wants to investigate that oily residue that keeps coming up on the equipment. She thinks it might be organic in nature. Could that somehow be the problem?
There is trouble. As you instructed, I went to Mirzabah to spread the word of our water sale. But while there, I learned that agents of the water shippers have been offering hefty rewards for anyone who can provide information about their stolen shipments. We must prepare.
Ask any of the nobles, what is a Kirab? A petty bandit, they will tell you. I, Lazaro Fine, am such a Kirab, as was my father and his father before him. Yes, I am a bandit. I embrace that, but I do not accept being petty. There is wealth and power to be had on this dune, even for one such as me. There is the spice, of course, but spice is the treasure of the Imperial. So what, I ask myself, is the treasure of Dune? Water. Water is that treasure. I see the masters of the Water Shippers Guild growing rich, and I think, why not me? Can water not make even a Kirab a rich man? Indeed, it can. If that Kirab is bold enough to take it. And I am bold enough.
There is it! Shields up!
fellow who's a grunt for the Watershippers Guild, and he told me something you might want to know. That guild exec that hired us, Oren Ryzen, well, it seems he has been trying to impress his bosses by reducing expenses. Only one of the ways he tried to save money was by cutting back on security for his large shipments. The Kirab probably wouldn't have been able to hijack that shipment if it had the required number of guards. And now, Ryzen is desperate to try and fix things before the hammer falls. Thought this info might be useful if you want to try to screw extra months.
This will be my last entry for... well, maybe for good. We've just received word that the protests against the thinking machines have escalated into full-scale war. Everyone says it's a struggle for the very existence of humanity. While the testing stations are being evacuated, we're shutting everything down while we await transport. I hope they hurry. Welcome, visitor, to Imperial Desert.
You're back. Good, good. I haven't dared to move too far. I don't think I can rely on my Imperial credentials around here. I knew I could count on you, of course. Thank you, friend. Planetology is a practical vocation, but I've never been much of one for violence. I promised you more planetology training, yes? Meet me at my camp in the South Haga Basin. I don't think this is a conducive environment for learning.
Have you any idea what that loudmouth Lazaro Fane is doing out of the old testing station? His toady was all over the Souk Alusus, shooting his mouth off about how his boss was coming into a big supply of water. Enough for the whole sector, he said. Laz is always hatching some mad scheme or another. I think he imagines himself the king of the Kirab. Ha! King of the Kulons, more like.
I've been thinking about Kynes and the testing stations, this focus on changing Arrakis. There used to be a dream on this planet that it could be something more. I think that is why Kynes sent me that letter. I'm an uncommonly good botanist. I'm not boasting. It's why I ended up on Kytane in the first place. And why else would Kynes want me? There are dozens of better options in the field of planetology. That's the thing, I just don't know. But there might be a way to find out, if you'll help me with another task. I need you to deliver a report of my progress to my superior, Cyprian Io. And while you're there, I need you to convince him to give me access to Kynes' research, which he would have inherited as planetologist for Arrakis. He's a product of the Regis Familia, with everything that entails. A good family, a strong bloodline, and wealth beyond imagining. But that has made him spoiled, lazy, and incompetent. I doubt he understands more than the basic fundamentals of planetology. Yet, here we are. Be careful. While Arakeen is under the guild peace, I don't doubt that he holds petty grudges. Just deliver the report, make the request, and leave. Here, take these Shigawire reels. They contain the details of my audit thus far. As for Cyprian Io, I suspect he'll still be in Arakeen. He was holding court at the Seleucid Bull, an officer's bar, when I last saw him. Look for him there. I remember. I've spent so much of my recent life as a scholar that I'd forgotten what it was like to get my hands dirty in the field. For the older generations, yes, field research was a major component, really understanding the planet, you know? A myriad of ecosystems. It's why Pardo Kynes was such an inspiration. A man who walked the walk, lived amongst the Fremen. I wish I could have met him. Or his child, Liet Kynes. I wonder... No. Let's just focus on your training. I left my life at the Academy to come here and help the Kynes. I feel like, even with both of them gone, I could do more. Never mind. Then pay attention. A planet is merely an expression of energy, a machine being driven by its sun. Relationships within relationships. There. I hope some of this will be of use to you. You remain a suspiciously apt pupil.
Engaging enemy!
I have followed the way of the Kirab for many years, but never did I imagine we would one day be holding the Sug Alusus at the very foot of the Fremen's holy hammer, their Mirzabah. It is indeed a fine place for our annual market, now that the Fremen are gone. For that, I suppose we should give thanks to the Sardaukar. Not that I have any great love for the Emperor's war dogs, you understand. But I fear the drawn crysknife more than the Sardaukar sword. Yes, a fine place indeed. But you still won't find me anywhere.
Mother, I am recording this message, which a kind member of this sage will send on to you by distance. We have arrived safely here at Mirzabah, the culmination of our personal hajra. Oh, Mother, the great rock is even more impressive than we were told. It looms above us in a most daunting way. Small wonder our ancestors named this rock after the iron hammer that crushes the souls of those who cannot answer the 7 mystic questions required for entry into paradise. Here in the shadow of Mirzabah, we will spend our hours in prayer and meditation, strengthening our faith, You and Father will be in my prayers daily. Like the bird that will carry this message, my thoughts fly across the sands to you. Your loving daughter, Kava.
Dead.
Sayadina and I made the long climb to hang a new prayer flag today. What a marvel that even in her advanced years, the Reverend Dejana can still scramble up the rocks like a spider. The only pity is, the prayer flag was of our own making. It seems an age since any siege community has gifted us with a woven symbol of devotion. There are so few pilgrims these days. But we here stayed true to our history and our faith, though the off-worlders daily encroach upon us with their mines and their harvesters. Though a growing rabble of Kirab grows even bolder around our borders. We will remain faithful until the day we proudly answer the 7 mystic questions and pass into paradise with joy in our hearts.
The ground fighting may have moved away from here, but there's still plenty going on up above. I don't mind them dropping those fighters out of the sky, long as they don't come down on my head. There's still good salvage to be got from them. Only thing is, most of them fall out in the open sands, and the worms won't give you any time to use a cutter ray out there. Still, you can get some nice stuff if you're daring enough for a dash and grab.
see someone.
They're here! Reveal yourself. Shield on!
Day 5 surveillance report. Harkonnen hard target 42M. The facility maintains round-the-clock house shielding. The shield has dropped briefly on 2 occasions since the last report. In both cases, it was to facilitate the landing of courier-thopters. I understand that locating Captain Skorda is now my #1 priority, but so far, I've seen no one matching his description. I'm maintaining careful surveillance. Update. I must express my concerns about the tenability of this position. A few hours ago, I observed a hawk with binoculars, having a good hard look in this direction. Don't know if I'm made or not, but my relief is now overdue. We'll keep watch as long as possible. Atreides.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I'm pleased to see you again. I feared as much. But hand me that report and I'll make sure his sacrifice was not in vain. Let me have a look at that. I know Maxim's salivating for this report. You made the right choice. Trust is hard in this unscrupulous trade, but you've earned some goodwill. How did you... This is delicate information. Perhaps you have a gift for intelligence work after all. Our deceased agent was on the trail of Lieutenant Teague Skorda, a defector from the Atreides military. We're keeping it hush, since Leto intervened on Skorda's behalf a few years ago. I must find him before the Harkonnen do, to protect my Duke's honor. Those above may know more about what Skorda was up to, but such need-to-know information rarely trickles this far down the chain of command. What you are is a freelance asset. This insulates the both of us. It also gives you more freedom than someone serving in a more official capacity. As a deniable asset, no one knows your allegiance but me. You're as free or limited to move about as anyone else. Trust accrues slowly in the world of espionage. You'll have to really earn it. In the meantime, let's work on a contract-by-contract basis. You're not officially on the books. That means it's up to me, and me alone, to assess your worth and trustworthiness. Let's begin. Let's not waste precious time on menial tasks. I want to give you the opportunity to demonstrate your true quality. We'll begin with combat prowess. Gangs of brutal slavers need a proper lesson taught to them the hard way. I look forward to hearing about your results. I never could stomach slavers.
Nice to see you again. Never a dull moment when you're about, eh? Such presumption. However, Anton is quick to trust. That could be useful. Betray us, and the medical drip will ensure you live in regret indefinitely. Count yourself fortunate that we managed to intercept that spy report when he sent it off to his superiors. Your presumption is sweet, but misplaced. I collect deniable assets. I run them through the meat grinder of espionage. Most end up fine paste. But I suspect you'll choke the machine. Are you disposable? Certainly. But being deniable comes with certain freedoms. I trust you'll exploit them. Yes, more. Always more. The trick is to never be satisfied, and your hungers will take you out of this pit of degenerates and to the very top. I must get out of this place. I must again deal in skilled agents rather than asset scum. You can help me rise, and I, in turn, can help you. That's the beauty of being an undercover and deniable asset. Your movements are unrestricted. You're as likely to get shot or stabbed as anyone else. I always have tasks that need doing. Do them and I will pay you. And we will bide our time to seize further opportunities. Our target resides near the Atreides fortress. I need something incriminating planted. A false log. The contract has the particulars. Do not distract from your task with questions. For now, focus on the action itself. We can talk at leisure when it is all done.
Found you! Shield on!
Welcome, stranger. Once you have the proper credentials, I'll gladly show you my wares.
Something in your body language and vibration sets you apart from anyone else I've seen of late. An interruption in the rhythmic breath of Arrakis. I am Sister Mesa. Not exactly. Nothing I'll elaborate on. Not to you. Not yet. But then perhaps you'll be willing to help me. I'm forced to remain here for the moment, but there is a task I need to see done. I'm interested in texts regarding certain ancient prophecies of the Fremen. 2 fragments in particular. They may be in a nearby cave. Again, you brighten my immediate vicinity. As a guard, do you suppose? Or a groundskeeper? No. My proximity to their fortress denotes no alliance, loyalty, or employment. I am in hiding. Circumstance dictates I keep a low profile in this place on which the universe will soon turn. It is you who say that I am. I'd say this is the safest spot for quite a distance in every direction. Sandflies to the west, and slavers all around. Traitorous Dunemen. It's true their lot was a hard one, but they imagined to choose their fate. Ridiculous. Their place in the Imperium was an honor. Rarely. But if you intend to travel around, be well prepared for battle. You might want to equip yourself with some weapons and ammunition. To the north you will find a trade post, Pinnacle Station. There is another trade post further away to the west of here. Follow the edge of the desert, and you will not miss it. But be warned. I've heard rumors of raving fanatics out west.
I greet you on behalf of House Rashiz. I am Asher Vandor, scion of the minor house of Vandor. I serve the Landsrat envoys of our liege house of Rashiz here on Arrakis. We serve House Rashiz by running its Highliner shipyards. We take pride in doing our part to ensure interstellar travel and connectivity. House Rashiz knows what it is to gain and lose Arrakis. We might have some valuable insights to offer the Atreides. House Rashiz lives by our words. Technology under faith. We're famed for building Highliner interplanetary transporters. Perhaps our crowning achievement is the use of reflective mirrors to make miniaturized power chips used throughout the Imperium. We certainly like to think so, yes. To be honest, our history is, in part, a cautionary tale of how quickly great houses can rise and fall. I warn you, though, it is long and winding. Fair enough. Perhaps our crowning achievement. You are not wrong. Our history has its fair share of calamity. To be honest, our history is, in part, a cautionary tale of, after the Great Purge, the Rashizian people inherited a blighted and depleted planet. Within a century, we rose to power, revitalized our planet. We embraced technology, depended on our machines. Our mastery of miniaturization set our path as the primary distributor of Highliners. Having impressed the Emperor, House Rashiz was granted the Siridar governorship of Arrakis. Jealousy poisoned our rival houses, most notably House Vermillius. They moved against Rashizian interests. Through a series of setbacks, we lost our exclusive Highliner contract with the Spacing Guild. Then we lost control of Arrakis. During the Great Spice War, Emperor Shaddam IV destroyed Rashiz's artificial moon. Calamity upon calamity. But we've made great strides since then. We continue to embrace technology as our means of salvation. The future is ever brighter.
I don't think I know you. Greetings just the same. Godspeed.
Someone's here. Going for this!
I need reinforcements.
Shield on!
The purpose of thought. Ibn Kirtaiba. Speed is a device of Shaitan. Do you understand, Wally? Our God gave us the gift of thought, and the words of the Kitab al-Ibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Bila kaifa. We were persecuted. Our families burned in the fires of their ignorance. We learned the cost of ignorance. Never to forget, never to forget. working mines. The tunnels were unstable. Our work made them more so. We learned the cost of action. Never to forgive. Never to forget. It was on Rosik that the Sayadina created the poison drug. Words became memories. Through thought and action combined, we learned to create. Of a kindly God is a fearful thing. Did not God give us Shaitan to face action? And where does action lead? Thought and action lead to creation. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa. What is the purpose of thought? To honor the Creator. Remember Rosak. Bila Kaifa.
Easy there. Let's just make sure everyone is friends before we close the distance so hastily. I do hope we can be friends. My name is Desmond Mercer, but my friends call me Des. You can call me Des, as I just know we are destined to be firm friends. We stand upon a cruel planet, careening through a crueler universe. Friendly optimism isn't a soft trait, but an act of aggressive defiance. Oh, I do this and that for the Landsrad envoys of House Hirata. My inquisitive little peepers are just dandy for sussing out what they need to know. You should ask yourself what it is you want to accomplish on Arrakis, and how a friendship with my house might help that along. Oh, you say that now. My company is a mite bit spicy for some folk, but before you know it, they're hip-wagging on over for the next ladleful. House Hirata is known primarily as a visionary pioneer in media technologies, particularly projections and film books. You are a curious soul. House Hirata encourages and celebrates that. The cold universe has a knack of forgetting a thing so thoroughly. It's like it never even existed. A skill can vanish in a single generation. A species can fade away into non-entity. The preservation of human knowledge and expertise is the holiest of holies. Our film books revolutionize education and training. A Shigawire imprint carrying a mnemonic pulse, transmitting knowledge directly to the mind. Fascinating stuff. The metallic extrusion of a ground vine, Narvi narvium. Made into reels, it can transmit amazing amounts of data. With its extreme tensile strength, the Sardaukar reduce Shigawire to a simple, if effective, garrote. Well, it is one of the most amazing substances known to humankind, and all they can think to do with it is squeeze necks.
Welcome to Imperial Desert Botanical Testing Station number 10. I am Dr. Silas Greenwich, director of this facility. Our goal here at DBTS-10 is to find and develop flora which can flourish in the iron-rich soils of this corner of Arrakis. Our initial focus is the introduction of Velvichia, Ephedra, and Alloydendron species, which we deem the most likely adapters. But within these protective walls, we will also cultivate a variety of species from across the Imperium. The ultimate goal will be to seed the planet with species capable of thriving in the wild, without the benefit of the water provided by our wind trap condensation system.
Attention, all of you. Yesterday in Harkov village, Kristoff referred to me as Immenbrech Healer. How hard can it be to remember this simple rule? No military title. We take a risk every time we need to enter settlement. A slip-up like this could easily be the death of us all. Make sure every one of you hears this message and understand it. Kristoff will not be returning to us. There will be an option for his here. It's clear we need more people with mechanical expertise if we are to meet the quotas set by our new bosses. We have too many here who can't handle anything more complicated than Trigger. They can be our field men and our muscle, but we need skilled hands. So you and I will need to do some recruiting. There are plenty like us who have chosen to leave the service of the great houses. We must find those among them with vehicle maintenance experience. That includes former Atreides troopers. Yes, I know. Bad blood. But we have more in common with Atreides deserters than we do with our old comrades. Anyone who can't see past old grudges won't have a place here.
Someone here.
this week's notes from the working anti-dust filtration systems are in high demand in Arakeen. Those from one-man ground cars are valuable, but larger units from sealed system ground cars and ornithopters will fetch the best prices. Stick to chosen saddle, since custom fabricated units are becoming too easy to trace. The dealers won't touch them. Make sure our acquisition agents are aware of this. The market for scrap metal is nearly glutted with competition from scavengers in the Hoggetts. But there is still a strong market for copper, aluminum, and plasteel components. It'll be worth our effort to break down larger mechanisms to acquire these materials. Do not forget to pass on last week's tasks as soon as you have completed them.
I cannot believe this. It's an outrage. An academic outrage. Our work has barely begun here, and the research is progressing splendidly. But today I am informed that our facility is to be expanded to provide a maintenance station for equipment and vehicles from dozens of...
We're finally getting some sort of order out on the shop floor. The men are generally meatheads, but they're learning. We've really been hampered by the crappy state of our tools, though. Those scavengers that we evicted may have been content to use this junk, but we'd do a lot better if we could upgrade our cutters and power packs. These museum pieces are constantly malfunctioning, and their cooldown times are obscene. The men are idle too often, And that's not good for this bunch.
Attention, all of you! I know you are all impressed with the daring of our friend Cedar, who was bold enough to steal a battle tank from under the very noses of Atreides troopers. He stole an aging ground guard and dropped them in the sea of the Graven. And that is one thing, but this takes nerve bottling of the legendary. I am really impressed. So impressed that I will overlook the equally high degree of stupidity Cedar has shown with this act. We are privileged to risk the wrath of powers that have set a price on our heads. No one comes to the proposal. These are our targets, not the great houses. We deal in civilian vehicle only. Anything else endangers us all.
Forces, the Turiel sends greetings. You may be surprised that we know your identity, but the hands of Turiel, whom I represent, know many things. For instance, we know that you and your band of deserters recently ousted a gang of vehicle thieves from one of the ancient testing stations in the Vermillius Gap. Congratulations. I'm certain that the station will make a fine hiding place for former soldiers such as yourselves. But there is a small problem. You see, those thieves were in our employ. They acquired vehicles and broke them down before passing the components on to our brokers. Ordinarily, such a loss would earn you the enmity of my organization. Something I can assure you, you do not want. But, to be perfectly candid, Our former agents were less efficient in their tasks than we had hoped. Therefore, I would like to propose a deal which I am certain both sides will find beneficial. You and your followers will take over the task of acquiring vehicles and breaking them down for us. If you meet agreed upon quotas, you are welcome to occupy our valuable property. I'm certain you can see the benefits of becoming our agents. If not, I'm also certain that your former employers will be happy to learn of your current whereabouts. I look forward to your kindly reply.
Still alive? Well done. It's a good look on you. Huzzah to you, then, on your triumphant return. I know, such a menial job, but every completed task raises your esteem by incremental degrees. You'll build a mountain out of sand grains in no time. Well, now you're in the business of doing. Knowing is reserved for higher ranks. With enough doing, you'll get there in no time. In the meantime, there is much work to be done. I do. Some greedy slavers are accepting bribes from slaves in exchange for freedom. I need a brutal hand to give said slavers a teachable moment. There's something I like about you. A chemical sheen to your skin reminds me of home. I'll dispense with menial tasks and give you something juicy. Very well. Let's test your cunning. There is a disgraced Atreides soldier ripe for exploiting. Details in the contract. This is a chance for me to see what kind of information you can extract. What kind of sway you can have over a mark. With only your words.
Welcome back. If you're eager for work, I have just the thing. I bet that felt good. I'll allow myself a little vicarious enjoyment. You proved your martial prowess. Let's see your cunning. There's a Harkonnen soldier named Lanoff. I'd like you to finesse some information from him. Lanoff is a Samuda addict. I'd like to find out what he knows about other Harkonnen addicts, particularly the sloppy ones. Be subtle. As I understand it, Samuda puts the user in an elated, ecstatic state, outside of time. It's administered through capsules with food or drink. From what I hear, playing Samuda music activates the effect. I know many Harkonnen users prefer it. I would expect Lanoff to do the same. Good. Remember, this is an opportunity to demonstrate that you are an agent who can exercise subtlety when necessary.
Tired of toiling in the scrap fields for weeks just to lose your best salvage to the Kirab? Then why not join the Kirab? Live a life of freedom. Take what you need. Be subject to no master. I am in need of a few sturdy companions, skilled with guns, blades, and strong enough to carry all they need. No member of my band has ever perished of thirst, hunger, or sandstorms. Soon we will go for spice. Seek out Miria the Sly at the Suc Alusus to learn more.
still alive. That's too bad. We had a bet going.
altar destroyed by the Emperor's zealous dogs. So much wasted in the pursuit of this pogrom. So much lost. This altar seemed to depict Fremen being separated from their families. Enslaved? I could only decipher a few words. Slave cribs, Hajj, and oddly enough, the name of a planet. Bela Tegese.
Honor the Creator, Ibn Qurtayba. Our enemies are as blades of grass mown down. Do you understand, Wali? Our God gave us the gift of time and the words of the Kitam Alibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Be kind. Creator. We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus. Be la Kaifa. Ibn Qurtayba, the fire of God set alight. How do we honor the Creator? We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus. Be la Kaifa.
Nesman, evacuate all personnel from the station immediately. Harkonnen troops are occupying the mining galleries, and Atreides forces are moving in from the north. We're in the middle of a war zone. They're throwing our workers out into the rift unprotected, on a battlefield. So much for Canley. I'm going down there to see if I can get our people out. Take charge of the topside crews. Get them out of here. Head north to the shield wall. We'll rendezvous there if we can. Hurry!
got word from Gota's lab. They need a live subject for testing out Inkvine. We took this kid out scout yesterday. There was a little bit too much fighting team. Bastard broke my nose. So, yeah, we've got a volunteer for the lab. I'll need a couple of you to take him there. See if you can pick up some more Krimskar bindings while you're at it.
Shields up!